everybody, Terralyn here from Riverside Reptiles. Signing in, waiting for people to join us so we can start our live video on our common snapping turtle. Hi, Patty. The only one that's tuned in is my friend Patty. Oh, now we have 5 people. So Brian's here. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Marlon. And first we're going to do a feeding, and then we'll talk to you about it. I'm going to turn it around so Brian can go on. We have 8 people. We are here today welcoming Enfield Recharged. Since it's not unplugged, we're having you plug in a little this week. I read some of the other cool things you're going to be doing. You're going to learn some fun recipes and learn how to draw. So maybe I'm in Enfield right now. Maybe I'll get recharged. Hi, Josh. Hi, Andrea. So we'll turn around. We have about 11 people. If you're from Enfield, reach out, say hi to us, and let us know what grade you're in. Here's Brian.
Do you see the snapping turtle? Or is it a reflection on the water?
No, I can see it.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Brian from the Riverside Reptiles Education Center, and we're going to do a little program today on our common snapping turtle. I actually got this guy. He was given to me by a friend. I think it was in 2004 or 2005. They had some snapping turtles hatch out on their property, and he brought me a handful of them. I released all of them except one to use for educational purposes, and he was about size of a quarter when I got him. And now he's about 15 years old. It is a boy. Boy snapping turtles get bigger than the girls, and he's probably around 15 pounds as well. Snapping turtles often get a bad rap. You know, people see them in ponds and lakes and rivers here in Connecticut. They're scared of them. They think that these turtles eliminate game fish populations. They eat ducks. Somewhat true, but they're mostly scavengers. They're very, very important parts of our ecosystem. They're kind of the cleanup crew. So although they'll take an occasional healthy animal if the opportunity arises, they mostly eat dead animals, or they'll pick off the sick and weak animals. So if a wetland ecosystem without snapping turtles would basically collapse. The water would get really gross. It'd be uninhabitable for many other native species. So snapping turtles are actually very, very important parts of our ecosystem. And then obviously they should be left alone and left to do their thing. These guys are actually omnivores. They eat mostly meat, but they do eat a lot of aquatic vegetation as well. I can see him staring at me. He's just waiting for his food. He doesn't want to hear me talk or anything. So what we'll do is, since he's in the feeding mode, we'll feed him. We'll let him finish we're going to feed him a rat today. It's a dead rat. We're not feeding him a live rat. We'll let him eat. We'll let him swallow his food. Then we'll pull him out just a little bit, and we'll go over basic identification of a snapping turtle. So, Terralyn, if you want to come around, actually, stay right there. I'll get him to come around that way.
We have Aubrey, age 8, Josh and Aiden. Aiden's in grade 4. Sophia's in grade 2. Andrea Scalise is here. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. So this is what he's eating today. It's a rat. Obviously, it's a dead rat. This rat had a good life. And we're using him to feed our snapping turtle. So I'm going to bring him over here a little bit.
Hi, Joey. Hi, Matt, Lena, and Evan. Ooh.
Come on, buddy. All right, you ready?
I am ready. He's ready.
And snapping turtles get their name not from that snapping motion they make with their mouths. They get it from the snapping motion they make for their necks when they're usually on land protecting themselves from predators. Now he's actually going to swallow that rat whole. You can come around this way a little.
Hi, Christina. Christina had a Zoom with us last week.
He's got right now. He's tenderizing it a little bit, and then he's going to swallow it whole. Now, a neat thing about turtles, aquatic turtles, that is that they can swallow their food underwater. So what he's going to do is, when he gets a mouthful of water, he's going to squirt it out through the tips of his nose. He released it for a sec.
The kids in Nicole's family thought they were herbivores. Nope. Hi, Mitch. Cameron and Leanne are watching. And Bradley,
Right.
who's in grade 2.
What we're going to do is we're going to give it to him again, because I don't want him tearing this apart in front of a bunch of people. I want him to eat it head first. All right. There he goes.
Ryland and Teresa are now tuned in. Hi, guys.
Now, snapping turtles are our biggest turtle in Connecticut. Average about 20 pounds. But the record common snapping turtle was actually 90 pounds. That is huge.
Wow.
And it was actually caught up in Canada. As research goes, as studies go, the further north you go into a snapping turtle's range, the bigger they get. So if you want to see a huge snapping turtle, I used to live up in New Hampshire, and the snapping turtles I'd see up there on the average were 5 to 10 pounds bigger than the ones we see here in Connecticut. There he goes.
Janet's family thought they were herbivores too. You are seeing here that they are not.
I mean, they will eat a lot of aquatic vegetation as well. But, you know, if an animal's omnivorous, it doesn't always mean that it's 50% herbivorous, 50% carnivorous. Sometimes they're a little bit more, and quite often they're a little bit more of one than the other. So I would say, on the average, adult snapping turtles, I would say are 85%, 90% carnivorous. And then they're 10 to 15% herbivorous. He's definitely taking his time.
How many of you out there know other turtles? Let's see if we can make this interactive while we're waiting for him to eat. Start typing some turtles or tortoises that you know.
Yeah, now he's going to rip it in half, which is going to be gross.
Uh-oh.
If he doesn't get it head first, then he'll rip the rat in half.
Red-eared slider. Yep. We actually have an albino red-eared slider here that was recently donated to us from someone moving to Maine. Hi from Mary, grade 4. Hi, Mary. Box turtle, sulcata, aldabras, red-eared sliders. Good job, Andrea. We have all of those here. Yep, box turtles. Christina, is that from Max or you?
All right, well, he let go of the rat again. So what we're going to do is we're going to take him out a little bit, and then we'll let him get back to eating. I'm sure you guys don't want to hang out for hours.
Oh.
He grabs his rat again. Watching a turtle try to eat a rat. I'll admit some of you might.
Hi, Jaden, grade 2.
We'll wait till he lets it go again, and then we'll pull him out for a little bit.
Painted turtles, yep. We have painted turtles here.
Now he's probably not going to let go of his rat.
Well, when you do things live, you never know how they're going to go.
Yeah, he's like a dog with a bone. He doesn't want to give it up now. Eventually he'll let go because he can't swallow a whole that way. Or though he might.
Is that a male or a female? Melissa wants to know. Melissa's just tuning in. So this is our male common snapping turtle.
Yep.
Melissa?
We have one common snapping turtle. We have 2 alligator snapping turtles. And this is our common. And he's boy.
Hi, Sheila. I went to high school with Sheila. Seems so long ago, Sheila. How old is he? Adrian would like to know.
About 15. On the average, common snapping turtles live for about 40 to 50 years. Although I'm sure there have been some that have lived longer. I'm sure they can live as long as people. In captivity, in the wild, of course, they have to look out for predation. They have disease, famine. So they don't normally live as long as captives.
Danielle says soft-shelled turtles. Yep. And Joey Scalise wants to know where we got him.
He came originally from South Windsor, Connecticut. He hatched out in a nest in a friend's yard, and my friend brought me a bunch of babies, and we released most of them. Actually, all of them except one. I didn't have any snapping turtles at the time, and I was just starting out with Riverside Reptiles, so I held on to one of the snapping turtles to use for my educational programs, and you're looking at them right now.
Jen Lee. Hi, Jen. My friend Jen would like to know, how often do they eat?
I feed him about 2 to 3 times a week. But he doesn't need to eat that much. In the wild, a snapping turtle can easily go with a month or 2 months without eating, as long as it's a healthy snapping turtle to begin with.
Melissa would like to know, what is his age and weight and shell length?
The shell length, well, he's about 15 years old and about 15 pounds. And his shell length is, let me see, I would say about 15, 16 inches.
Max wants to know, how do they prefer to eat whole or rip them apart?
I don't know what they prefer. Hopefully I was going to get him to eat that rat whole, which he usually does. But he's kind of being a pain today. So my guess is he's going to rip it in half, and it's going to be really gross. And our head keeper just cleaned this water, so I'd hate to have the snapping turtle do that. But sometimes he does. And then he'll just eat it in 2 bites.
Jack says he catches baby snapping turtles.
Cool. Yeah, baby snapping turtles in Connecticut hatch out usually in late August, early September. So if you know a place where there's a lot of snapping turtles, visit those places in late August, early September, and walk around in the shallow areas. And if you're lucky, you'll see baby snapping turtles in there. Nest or clutch sizes vary. I've seen clutch sizes of 13 eggs all the way to over 50 eggs, and they're all about the size of ping pong balls.
Patty, he is not an alligator snapping turtle. He's a common snapping turtle. How big will they get?
On the average, 20, 25 pounds. Although in Connecticut, I've seen them, between 40 and 50 pounds. The further north you go in the common snapping turtles range, the larger they get. Up in New Hampshire, they get on the average 5 to 10 pounds bigger than the ones around here. And the largest one ever recorded was captured up in, I think it was in Ontario, up in Canada, and it was 90 pounds.
Wow.
Which is a giant snapping turtle. My biggest snapping turtle is an alligator snapping turtle, and he's almost 70 pounds. So a 90-pound common snapping turtle, that is a huge beast.
That is a frozen rat, a ratsicle.
Yeah, it was frozen. We thawed it out.
John is wondering, how do turtles sleep?
Aquatic turtles, they sleep underwater. They can slow down their heart rate, so they don't need as much oxygen, so they can sleep underwater for hours. Another neat thing about turtles is they can absorb oxygen through their cloaca, which is kind of their butt. So a lot of people always,
back there.
yeah, it's a good chuckle when turtles can breathe with their butts underwater.
Lots of kids out there, I'm sure, will find that very funny. Christina and Max want to know how they help the environment.
They're the cleanup crew. They're the janitors of the wetland ecosystem. So they're very important. If an animal dies and falls in the water, snapping turtles, they take care of it. If there wasn't scavengers around, there'd be dead animals all over the place. It'd be very gross. So they help keep the wetland ecosystems clean. Very important parts of the ecosystem.
As you can see with that algae, they would blend right in. You probably wouldn't even see one.
Yeah, and this is actually a temporary enclosure for our common snapping turtle. When you come to the Riverside Reptiles Educational Center, he'll be in a nice large enclosure for viewing. Right now, he's just in a 150-gallon Rubbermaid cattle waterer, they call it, for farm animals. All right. He finally let go of his rat, so we can take him out for just a second.
Jeez.
He wants to go back in there and eat his rat. But again, common snapping turtles are the largest turtle here in Connecticut. If you see a turtle this size, it's easily recognized as a snapping turtle. You can see he's got a very long neck. He's got big, sharp claws. Another good characteristic of snapping turtles is look at this tail. He's got a big prehistoric dinosaur-looking tail with these big scales on them. Also, if you look on the back of his shell there, he's got kind of a serrated edge on his carapace. Watch your arm.
Yeah.
Right here, it's like a saw.
I'm watching.
And you can see he gets that snapping turtle name from that snapping turtle motion he makes with his neck. Yeah, he's covered with a lot of muck right now, too. Isn't that a cute face?
What is their shell made of? Aiden wants to know.
Well, underneath this is bone. The carapace and the plastron is made out of bone, but covering the bone is keratin, kind of like our fingernails. All right, let's try giving him his rat one more time.
How do turtle shells grow?
Underneath it, the bone grows, just like our bone grows, our skeleton grows. And as the bone grows, they grow new scutes, which are each one of those little shapes covering the carapace. So the scutes grow underneath, and as they start growing, the old scute will eventually shed off. Kind of like, when our fingernails grow, we have to cut our fingernails or trim them to keep them nice and neat. So when these guys, when their shells grow, they shed their carapace. They shed the top layer of the carapace, which is made out of keratin.
How long can they stay underwater for?
Depends on the species and the size of the turtle. But a big common snapping turtle like this can easily stay underwater for a half hour, 45 minutes. But if it's sleeping, it can stay underwater even longer. Or if it's hibernating, it can stay underwater for months.
Good questions, Sophia and John and Aiden. Aubrey wants to know, how many kinds of turtles do we have here?
Let me think. We have, I think...
He has a list somewhere.
I have a list in my head. Let's see if we can name them. All right, so we have the snapping turtle, obviously number one. Then we have the eastern painted turtle. Then we have the musk turtle. We have eastern box turtle, wood turtle, spotted turtle, diamondback terrapin. So there's 7, and then what are we missing?
Did you say Reeves?
Those are from Asia.
Oh, I thought they meant. No, do we have here
Oh,
at the
I
center?
thought you meant in Connecticut.
No. How many kinds of turtles do you have
So I'm
there?
pretty sure there's 8 species of turtles in Connecticut, 7 or 8 species. We have a lot here.
Sorry, when I said here, I meant she wanted to know here at Riverside Reptiles. We found a baby snapping turtle a year ago and released it in the spring. Jaden.
Cool. Yeah, it's good to release them before they get too big. What? All the scratches on there?
No. What time is it? Okay. We have about 5-ish minutes left for you to wrap up any questions that you'd like to know. Why do turtles tuck in their shell? From Danielle.
Most turtles that go inside their shell, they use it to protect themselves from their predators. Some turtles, like box turtles and mud turtles, they have the ability to actually close up their plastron completely. There's a hinge in the bottom of their plastron. They can seal it up tight so a predator won't be able to reach its paw or hand in there or talons and rip the turtle out. Primarily turtles will withdraw into their shell to protect themselves from predators. Snapping turtles, however, don't do that. They'll bite, or more commonly, they don't really come out of the water. So they're great swimmers. They swim away.
Ashley is just joining us, and she wants to know if that is his meal in there. Yes, Ashley, that is a rat. It was previously frozen, and he, instead of eating it, has been holding it this whole time. So really, you didn't miss much. He's been holding it. What else do they eat? Jaden would like to know.
In the wild or here?
Well, I'll do here first and then the wild, so we get 2 parts.
Here, I primarily just feed him on meat. I don't feed him too many plants. In the summer, when he's outside, I'll throw in some lettuce every now and then. But he prefers meat. In the wild, they're omnivorous. They eat a lot of aquatic vegetation, but they'll also eat a lot of animals. They're mostly scavengers, so anything that dies and falls to the bottom of the pond. So fish, waterfowl, aquatic mammals. There's even been cases of them eating porcupines that have drowned. So they're opportunistic, whatever they can get.
Aiden, you just kind of piggybacked on Jaden, and we just answered that question. Hopefully you were listening. For those of you who just joined us, do you want to tell them how big he is again and his shell length and all of that?
He's about 15 years old. He's around 15 pounds. His carapace, which is the top part of his shell, is probably about 14, 15 inches. He came originally from South Windsor, Connecticut. And I've had him for his entire life, pretty much his entire life. When I first got him, he was about the size of a quarter. And he was much more handleable back then. Now he's not easy to hold.
How long can they hold their breath?
On the average, 30, 45 minutes, but in some instances they can even hold it longer. Yeah, now he's ripping it in half.
I think maybe that would be a good time to end our discussion of the common snapping turtle. For those of you who tuned in from Enfield Recharged, Brian and I would like to say thank you. Brian's going to wave goodbye. And you can continue to ask us questions, and we'll do our best to answer them throughout the evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day. Stay safe.